Being able to defend yourself physically is one of the hardest things to do. In this video, I want to highlight 3 popular self-defense moves that are not as easy to pull off as people think. Stick around. When you look at the statistics and when you look at attack rates and when you watch footage on the internet on various types of attacks and scenarios that go down, people who successfully defend themselves against these attacks belong to a much smaller percentage than you would think. Most would agree that the assailant or the attacker often has the advantage. They have the element of surprise and they have the determination. And in many cases, they have the size, the element, and all the things that give them the belief that they can be successful against you. Most won't even attack if they don't think they can be successful, unless they're just foolish. And trust me, many of these people are. There is a such thing as foolish assailants and attackers that get dealt with a little bit easier than some of the others. But we've got to lose this mindset that the average thug is easy to take down. They are not. Especially in situations where it's a woman fighting a man or it's a smaller person fighting a much larger attacker. I'm not saying they can't be successful, but the challenge goes up. And because of these well-known challenges, we like to talk about effective self-defense moves. And in this video, I want to talk about 3 of the most popular that people will default back to. And sometimes they think of these things as a sure thing. Oftentimes they're taught as a sure thing. And I just want to shine a little light on this and bring some reality back into the picture. Number 1 is the eye gouge. Is it effective when it lands? Absolutely. Is it always easy to land? Nope. Let's talk logic. Think about all the times you prevented something from getting in your eye. And these were situations where it was totally sudden and accidental. Think about all the success you've had throughout your life protecting your eyes from random things. Just like me a minute ago, I picked my little puppy up. She was just showing me some love and affection, and she almost scratched me right in the eye, but instinctively, I defended my eye. It was just something that happened in a moment's time. People are very quick to defend their eyes. It's a instinctive type of reaction, and it's not as easy to get to somebody's eyeballs as you think. The most successful eye gouge I ever witnessed in a real fight was 2 guys were getting ready to fight. The other one thought they were getting ready to knuck up, and instead the guy just reached out and stuck his fingers in his eyes. The fight was over. They squared up like they were going to box, and then all of a sudden when the guy closed in, he just reached out and touched the guy's eyes. He happened to land, and it was over. It's hard enough for accidents to reach your eyes, much less things that you know are coming. If you're going to jab somebody in the eye, make sure you don't leave your fingers straight like the 3 Stooges, because if you don't hit nothing but bone, you can hurt your finger. Always keep a bend. In the same way that we practice that jab and not telegraphing, it's the same with an eye poke. You're here, boom. It's very sudden. It's not a telegraph movement, it's here. If you're gonna make that move work, it's gotta be the element of surprise. If you get tied up with one and y'all are wrestling and you're trying to gouge his eyeballs out, it's gonna be harder than you think. They're gonna be closing their eyes, turning their head in every direction. It's not easy to do because eyes are one of those things that people instinctively have the ability to defend well. The second technique is the world famous growing kick. Is it effective when it lands? Yes. Is it hard to land? You better believe it. And it can be landed, but it's got to be scored at the right time. But that brings down your chances of being able to make it easy. It's already a difficult angle. It's already something that's hard to connect with unless they're just standing in front of you with their legs open, or you happen to catch them at the right time when they're coming forward. But it's not just something they're going to give you. I think a lot of people think, oh, I'll just kick them in the groin and the fight will be over. It may not be over. The pain doesn't always register immediately. A lot of pain doesn't register immediately. Number 3, biting. Can it be very effective? Can it get you out of a bad pinch? Absolutely, absolutely. We see this across the animal kingdom. There's plenty of animals that you left alone because they bit you. But just because something gets bit doesn't mean it can't keep fighting and that it can't hurt you. Sometimes it may hurt you worse because now it's more angry. When people are in a struggle against each other, you would be surprised about the pain threshold. A lot of times certain pain responses are delayed. Some things are a switch. Some things are a timer. But just because you bite somebody does not mean it's over. Here's what it all comes down to in the world of self-defense. We take these things that are called tools. We value these tools and we evaluate their effectiveness or lack thereof, but we don't depend on one technique. We have to become a fighting machine that puts everything together as much as possible with hopes that we will get away and increase our survival. I believe we can become very dangerous if we choose to learn to defend ourselves. I believe we can become very hard to hurt, but we've also got to keep a level head. We've got to train hard and continue putting everything together. Don't buy into technique gimmicks. Everything is needed and everything is important, and it all needs to go to work at one time until you and I are out of that situation. There's a lot of really lethal strikes that can be used in street defense. It may take one, it may take more, whether it's a shot with your fist to the trachea, whether it's a shot to the carotid artery, whether it's an open-handed smack to this region here that often puts people's lights out, whether it's a flat hand to the face, whether it's a shot to the eye. All of these things are effective, but sometimes you've got to be put together in a moment's time. You just got to go crazy with all the right tools with hopes that you may be able to stop this person. I'm not just relying on that. I'm not just relying on this or this or this. I'm putting it all together because all of these strikes are effective. This video is not a criticism of these techniques. It's about not putting too much trust in one technique as if it's easy to pull off, because nothing out here in the world of self-defense is easy. It takes time and training and the right capitalization, and that takes a lot of effort all at once. Take care.